if there was a treasure recovered by Samuel Ball, maybe it still survives him, and it's somewhere around that foundation.
Oak Island is just a small island off the coast of Nova Scotia, but the mystery hidden beneath it has captivated explorers, historians, and treasure hunters for more than 200 years. Over 40 major excavation attempts have been carried out here, with an estimated $70 million spent in the relentless search for whatever lies below. Shafts have collapsed without warning, mysterious flood tunnels have repeatedly stopped excavations, and time after time, it has seemed as though the treasure was only a few feet away. Yet every breakthrough has ended the same way. The true secret of Oak Island has always slipped away at the very last moment. Now, everything may have changed. Explosive reports leaked ahead of the Season 13 grand finale claimed that the team's latest borehole drilling detected unusual metallic signatures alongside structured cavity-like readings nearly 90 to 100 feet underground. Ground-penetrating radar and advanced subsurface scanning have reportedly identified a zone with a density 8 to 10 times greater than the surrounding soil. If these findings are accurate, some experts believe they could point to a sealed chamber or hidden artifact cache potentially worth $150 million to $250 million. For months, Rick Lagina and his team have focused their efforts on this mysterious target. Massive drilling rigs, deep underground camera probes, and cutting-edge mapping technology are now being used to determine whether this anomaly is simply a natural formation or the entrance to an ancient engineered vault that has remained untouched for centuries. If these leaked details are true, the Season 13 finale could become the greatest breakthrough in the entire history of Oak Island. But one question still remains. Is this finally the path to the legendary treasure vault? Or is Oak Island about to claim another victim and leave the world with yet another unsolved mystery? Before we uncover what happened next, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because if this discovery is real, you won't want to miss the reveal that could finally solve Oak Island's 200-year-old mystery once and for all. The story of Oak Island feels like the plot of a Hollywood adventure, yet its mystery began more than 2 centuries ago. Back in 1795, 3 teenage boys, Daniel McGinnis and 2 of his friends, were exploring the island when they came across a strange depression in the ground. Above it, an old tree appeared to have marks from a pulley system attached to one of its branches. To the boys, it looked like someone had once lowered something valuable into the earth. Convinced that pirates might have buried treasure there, they decided to dig. That moment marked the beginning of what would become the longest and most dangerous treasure hunt in history. The location eventually became famous as the Money Pit. As excavation continued, the discoveries became increasingly puzzling. Every 10 feet, the diggers uncovered thick wooden platforms, almost as though someone had intentionally built multiple underground layers. Deeper still, at around 30 to 40 feet, they found charcoal, stones, and even coconut fiber. The coconut fiber raised the biggest questions because coconut trees have never grown anywhere near Oak Island. Its presence suggested that these materials had been deliberately transported there, strengthening the belief that humans had engineered whatever lay beneath the surface. These unusual discoveries sparked countless theories. Some believed the island concealed pirate treasure, while others suspected Spanish gold or even priceless relics connected to the Knights Templar. But every attempt to uncover the truth faced the same obstacle. As the shafts reached greater depths, they would suddenly flood with seawater. Investigators later discovered that an elaborate network of underground flood tunnels connected the excavation site directly to the ocean. Whenever digging reached a certain level, water rushed in and stopped all progress. Time after time, teams were forced to abandon their work just when success seemed within reach. Over the past 200 years, more than 40 major expeditions have tried to solve Oak Island's mystery. Treasure hunters, private investors, and exploration companies have poured enormous amounts of money into the search. Estimates suggest that between $70 and $80 million have already been spent. Massive drilling rigs, heavy excavators, underwater cameras, and sophisticated scanning equipment have all been brought to the island. Yet the outcome has remained frustratingly familiar. Every expedition uncovered clues hinting that something extraordinary might exist underground, only for flooding, collapses, or unexpected setbacks to bring the search to a halt. Season 13 introduced a completely different strategy. Instead of digging wherever clues appeared, the team decided to examine the entire island using advanced technology before breaking ground. Their thinking was simple. If a hidden chamber or tunnel system truly existed beneath Oak Island, modern science would provide a better chance of locating it than random excavation alone. One of the first tools they relied on was ground-penetrating radar, commonly known as GPR. This technology sends radar signals below the surface and creates detailed images of underground layers. As the scans covered different parts of the island, several unusual patterns emerged. Certain areas displayed abrupt changes in ground density, while other locations showed signatures that resembled hollow spaces or buried structures hidden beneath the soil. The investigation didn't stop there. The team also carried out seismic surveys by sending controlled vibration waves into the ground and measuring how they bounced back. Solid rock reflects those waves differently than empty spaces or underground passages. When the results came in, several locations produced signal patterns unlike anything in the surrounding terrain. Those anomalies immediately caught the attention of experts, who believed they might indicate hidden cavities or man-made features. Next came borehole drilling, a technique that allows researchers to drill narrow but extremely deep holes in order to collect samples of soil, rock, and underground material. During Season 13, several boreholes reached depths between 90 and 100 feet. Laboratory analysis of those samples detected unusual material compositions along with traces of metal, adding even more excitement to the investigation. The team also explored flooded underground areas using high-definition underwater cameras and robotic probes. Much of Oak Island contains water-filled shafts and channels that are far too dangerous for divers to enter. The robotic systems captured images of wooden remains and structural features that may have belonged to ancient excavation works or the island's mysterious flood tunnel network. However, the biggest surprise arrived after experts analyzed the latest drilling data. In one section of the island that had already been investigated for years, measurements taken from boreholes revealed something completely unexpected. At depths between roughly 90 and 100 feet, the density of the underground material changed dramatically. Under normal conditions, soil and rock at that level typically measure within a density range of about 1.8 to 2.2. In this particular zone, however, readings suggested material that appeared 8 to 10 times more compact than expected. Such an anomaly could indicate an engineered stone structure, an unusually dense layer of material, or even the wall of a hidden underground chamber. When geologists reviewed the results, they immediately identified this location as one of the highest priority excavation targets of Season 13. Oak Island has produced many strange readings throughout its long history, but few have stood out as clearly as this one. As a result, Rick Lagina and the rest of the team shifted much of their attention toward this specific area. To better understand the anomaly, researchers drilled more than 15 boreholes surrounding the site. Their goal was to determine whether the unusual readings represented a small isolated feature or part of a much larger underground structure. Then another intriguing discovery added to the mystery. Instruments lowered into the boreholes, along with electromagnetic scanning equipment, detected metallic signatures beneath the surface. Some measurements registered magnetic responses estimated between 70 and 90 millitesla, levels that would be unusual for ordinary soil or natural rock formations. If these readings accurately represent buried material, they could point to the presence of metal objects or even a larger constructed feature underground. Naturally, that raises the biggest question of all. What exactly is producing those signals? Some researchers speculate they could originate from ancient coins, historic metal artifacts, fragments of ship cargo, or reinforcing elements within an old wooden vault. Supporters of Oak Island's legendary treasure theories continue to wonder whether Spanish gold, pirate riches, or even Knights Templar relics might finally be within reach. If a cache of that scale truly exists beneath the island, some estimates suggest its value could range anywhere from $150 to $300 million. Even so, no definitive proof has been uncovered. Oak Island has delivered promising clues many times over the past 2 centuries, only for later excavations to reveal that the anomalies were caused by perfectly natural geological formations. Until the evidence is finally exposed, the mystery remains unsolved, and the world continues to watch as one of history's greatest treasure hunts carries on. Because of everything that has happened over the past 2 centuries, the team is approaching this latest phase with far greater caution than ever before. Every new borehole sample is carefully analyzed in the laboratory, and all scanning results are reviewed by multiple independent specialists before any major decisions are made. Even so, one fact stands out above everything else. The unusual zone located roughly 90 to 100 feet beneath the surface has become the centerpiece of the entire investigation. If a hidden chamber or underground vault really exists there, it could finally solve one of history's longest-running treasure mysteries. Rick Lagina and his team may now be closer than ever to making a discovery capable of rewriting everything we know about Oak Island. For generations, however, one obstacle has repeatedly stood in the way of that goal: the island's mysterious flood tunnels. More excavation attempts have failed because of sudden flooding than for any other reason. Even today, researchers continue debating whether this underground water network formed naturally or whether it was intentionally engineered centuries ago as a sophisticated defense system. Early treasure hunters noticed a strange pattern. Whenever excavations reached depths of around 80 to 90 feet, seawater would suddenly pour into the shaft. According to historical accounts, the flooding was so powerful that entire excavation pits filled within only a few hours. One of the earliest large-scale digging operations in the 1800s experienced exactly this problem. After reaching roughly 90 feet, workers were hit by an enormous rush of water. They spent hours trying to pump it out, only to return the following day and find the shaft flooded once again. As researchers studied the island more closely, they proposed that narrow underground channels connected the money pit directly to the surrounding ocean. Some engineers estimate these passages may stretch between 150 and 200 feet before reaching the shoreline. If that theory proves accurate, it would suggest that whoever created the original underground system deliberately designed it to flood whenever someone attempted to dig too deep, making the treasure almost impossible to reach. History offers several examples of teams that believed they were on the verge of success before the flood tunnels stopped them. During a major excavation project in the 1960s, powerful drilling equipment was brought to the island in hopes of finally reaching the target. Instead, the ground collapsed between roughly 70 and 80 feet, followed by severe flooding that forced the entire operation to end. Some workers later claimed the incoming water was so powerful that even industrial pumping systems struggled to keep up. That constant danger is one of the reasons Oak Island is often considered one of the world's most hazardous treasure hunts. Season 13 has introduced a different approach. Rather than relying on aggressive excavation, Rick Lagina and his team are combining controlled drilling with advanced water management technology. Heavy-duty industrial pumps, reinforced steel casing, and specialized stabilization methods are all being used to minimize the risk of sudden flooding. Some of the equipment is capable of removing thousands of liters of water every minute, making today's excavations significantly safer than those attempted decades ago. Yet Oak Island is no longer just a treasure hunt. It's also become the center of an ongoing scientific debate. The discoveries made during Season 13 have divided archaeologists, geologists, and historians. Some experts believe the latest evidence provides the strongest indication yet that a man-made underground system really exists. They point to the combination of unusual density readings, metallic anomalies, and preserved wooden structures as evidence that something engineered may lie beneath the island. Others remain far more skeptical. Many geologists argue that Oak Island's natural geology is exceptionally complicated. They caution that underground voids, compressed sediment, and mineral-rich rock formations can sometimes create misleading signals during radar and electromagnetic surveys. From their perspective, the recent anomalies are intriguing but far from conclusive. Until excavators uncover an actual structure or recover physical artifacts directly from the site, they believe no final conclusions should be drawn. That uncertainty is exactly what keeps the Oak Island mystery alive. On one side are those convinced the team is closer than ever to uncovering one of history's greatest hidden treasures. On the other are scientists who believe the entire mystery may simply be the result of unusual geological conditions rather than buried riches. Despite the disagreement, one thing has never changed. Rick Lagina and his team have no intention of giving up. Flood tunnels, unstable ground, and conflicting expert opinions have challenged explorers for more than 200 years, but the search continues with greater determination than ever. Part of Oak Island's enduring fascination comes from what might actually be hidden beneath the surface. According to many historians and treasure researchers, if a sealed vault or underground chamber truly exists, its estimated value could range between $150 and $250 million. Some enthusiasts even believe the total could be far greater. The reason those estimates are so high is that Oak Island legends involve much more than buried gold. Over the years, theories have linked the island to Spanish treasure fleets, pirate fortunes, French royal valuables, Knights Templar relics, and even rare historical manuscripts. If any of those stories contain even a small amount of truth, the greatest discovery might not be gold at all. It could be priceless artifacts that have survived for centuries. Historians often point out that medieval relics, ancient manuscripts, and religious objects can carry historical importance far beyond their material value. Some researchers suggest that the discovery of a long-lost archive or collection of historic documents could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars simply because of its significance to museums and scholars around the world. Although no legendary treasure has been recovered so far, previous excavations have uncovered enough intriguing evidence to keep the mystery alive. Old coins, historic tools, wooden structures, and various metal fragments have all been found during different digs. Individually, none of these discoveries prove that a hidden vault exists, but together they suggest that something unusual may indeed lie beneath the island. That is why the latest discoveries from Season 13 have generated so much excitement. If the mysterious anomaly located between 90 and 100 feet underground is eventually revealed to be part of a sealed chamber, the possibilities are almost unimaginable. Some researchers speculate such a vault could contain thousands of gold coins, silver treasures, valuable jewelry, historic relics, or cargo from an ancient ship. To put that into perspective, around 50,000 ounces of gold alone would be worth approximately $100 million at current market prices. Add historically significant artifacts to that discovery, and the overall value could easily climb beyond $200 million. But enormous rewards often come with enormous risks. The area where Rick Lagina and his team are currently excavating is regarded as one of the island's most unstable and dangerous sections, meaning every step forward must be taken with extraordinary care. Even after more than 2 centuries of searching, Oak Island continues to challenge every person who dares to dig beneath its surface. And the deeper investigators go, the more dangerous the mission becomes. The ground below the island is anything but stable. Layers of loose sediment, abandoned excavation shafts, and underground channels connected to the ocean create an environment where a single mistake can trigger a collapse or allow water to flood the worksite within minutes. Every new drilling operation must be planned with extreme precision because safety is just as important as the search itself. That level of caution comes with an enormous price tag. Running a full-scale excavation requires specialized drilling equipment, powerful cranes, dewatering pumps, structural engineers, geologists, safety crews, and dozens of trained workers. Day after day, the costs continue to rise, turning the search into one of the most expensive treasure expeditions ever attempted. Every decision to drill deeper means accepting greater financial risk as well as greater danger. Yet, despite the challenges, Rick Lagina and the team remain determined. After dedicating years of their lives to this mystery, they believe the most important chapter may still be waiting underground. If their latest target proves to be the right location, they could finally uncover the evidence generations of explorers have searched for since the late 18th century. That possibility is why so many people are watching the latest phase of the investigation. The upcoming operations represent one of the most advanced exploration efforts ever carried out on Oak Island. Instead of relying only on large-scale excavation, the team is following a more calculated approach. Collect as much information as possible before disturbing the ground. One of their most valuable tools is a miniature robotic camera capable of traveling through narrow boreholes. These high-resolution probes can descend well over 100 feet below the surface, transmitting live images from places no person has ever seen. If an underground chamber or tunnel exists, visual confirmation would be far more convincing than indirect sensor readings alone. This is especially significant because previous generations of treasure hunters reported countless promising clues, but never obtained clear images from inside a suspected chamber. For the first time, technology may provide answers that digging alone never could.